Hey guys, welcome to London Players Guild. I am here today with Dean Hopkins and his amazing Goku Black deck. Dean, say
Awesome,
hello.
awesome. Oh yeah, hello. I'm Dean Hopkins. I've been playing Dragon Ball for about coming up to about 2 years now. I think next month. Like really enjoy the game, and always been a fan of Goku Black. So as soon as the new Unison support sort of got revealed on Friday, it's all I've been playing for the last couple of days.
Yeah, so of course everyone is stuck indoors right now for certain reasons, and we don't have all of the cards, but the deck is interesting. We don't have any gameplay yet. We're going to get a gameplay of this deck for you guys when all of the spoilers are out, so we can actually have a level playing field and not just smashing someone with the brand new mechanic. But yeah, Goku Black. Walk us through why this deck actually became a thing for you.
So it started around 2 months ago. I've always sort of been playing Goku Black on and off, and I pretty much had most of this deck sort of built by the Unison cards, and was starting to play it about 2 months ago before um, all the locals and everything stopped happening. It was working okay. You could get it was all centered around playing the boss monster as fast as possible to neg energy by 3 on your opponent, sort of to set them back. It's sort of a unique playstyle that not many other decks can sort of offer. You've got like the Android 21 SR, but I just really like the character of Goku Black and the way that the deck plays. That I tried making it work, and as soon as I saw the Unison card for Zeno, immediately I just thought, well, if we put this with the Goku Black leader and you're doing like Mega Ramp, you sort of get to a Shenron ramp style of variant where you're just ramping so fast that you can just establish a board and a boss monster as early as turn 4. So if you go first and you get like the perfect hands, you can ramp with the Goku Black leader. You've got ramp built in with the deck, and then you've also got the Zeno Witch ramps. So by getting the 8-drop boss monster out turn 4, if you go first and lucky enough, you can actually neg your opponent to 0 energy, which is just crazy. No other deck can sort of do that as early as turn 4. So that was where the idea sort of came from.
I mean, even if you don't neg them to 0 energy, you still neg 3 energy from them. That's painful on its own.
Exactly, yeah. Which is just devastating and game winning in itself.
Okay, so let's start it with the leader, I guess, because it's set to 2 leaders, so not many people are going to know it. We're going to go through all the cards. We have one placeholder on the deck list. The Gogeta Hero Revived is actually the new Unison Gogeta, which we're also going to talk about. But yeah, this deck doesn't run Hero Revived. Just putting it out there for people who don't like Hero Revived.
Yeah, I'll go about it a bit more later on after going through these cards while I decided not to do it. But to go over the leader quite briefly, it's set to, so I know a lot of people aren't going to know about it unless you were in the game sort of towards the beginning. But activate main once per turn. If you have 2 or more blue energy, you choose a card in your life and you get to put it into your energy area. At the end of the turn, you get to choose one of the energies and place it into the drop area. So it doesn't per se state that it has to be the energy that it charges itself. It saw a bit of play. I've always sort of liked the leader and played it itself. It's such a unique sort of effect that not many other leaders and cards can sort of utilize. It doesn't draw on the swing, since it being like an old design leader, and draws 2 when being on 4 or less life. You don't get energy on tap.
Yes,
It all makes it balanced.
Energy on tap was at the set 3 was the first
Yeah,
energy on
yeah,
tap.
the set afterwards, yeah, pretty much. So I mean, like, I know that people go on about like reboot leaders, and it would be nice to see this leader rebooted. But I think if he gained a draw on the swing while also having this ramp style effect, it could be. I don't know whether it'd be really, really bad or sort of unbalanced, but it's what for me keeps the leader sort of balanced, is that it doesn't draw while charging on energy for sort of like gaining mass amounts of advantage. It's sort of like the trade off that you gain with the leader, an energy instead of a draw.
I mean, it is already self-awakening on its own.
Exactly.
And it does ramp you. Even back then it was just for 1 turn, but it was still plenty because it let you play objection back when it was legal,
Yeah.
etc., etc. In this deck, it will be able to do way more. But the important thing here is, I think, that you need to have 2 or more blue energy. So it locks you into that blue or mostly blue deck, and you can't do it
Yeah.
turn 1. So you wouldn't be able to play a 2-drop turn 1, which I think was the intended design, so they couldn't objection on turn 1.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you could only imagine that you could do it on turn one, and say if it was still that way up to now, which I doubt it would have been, but you would be able to play Zeno turn one, which would mean you'd be able to get the boss card and some of the other cards out as early as turn three, which I think would definitely they would give the errata at this point if they hadn't had already.
Yeah, definitely objection needed to go though.
Yeah,
If
yep,
this deck
yep.
could play if objection was legal, would this deck play objection?
I would say no, because I don't think the deck needs it. I think Zeno is essentially an objection on legs. Zeno's better as well because objection, if you wanted to play one or two, you needed to see multiple of them. Whereas I think the reason why the Zeno is that we'll go a bit more into it when we actually like go into the Zeno, but its +2 effect means that from the get-go, your opponent has to attack it or deal it damage 4 times just to get rid of it, which no deck is pretty much going to do on turn 2. It's pretty much impossible with the current builds that I've been playing against at the moment, like with Surge, even with decks like Surge Coup.
Have you played against Boo?
I've been against a Black Storm deck once. The Black Storm deck can pretty much deal with it, but I don't think this deck can really hold up against Black Storm too much.
I think the Black Storm deck would just go for your face, to be fair, but
yeah, I've had like 7 to 8 attacks, so like they're more than happy attacking me multiple times on the Zeno. It forces me to have a Zeno to even have a chance at coming back.
yeah.
So as soon as they start dealing me damage with leader, it's game from that point. I can't generate that much advantage.
Yeah, that's right. You need to be able to take life for Zeno to matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what Awakened Side does.
So during your turn, permanent, if you have 2 or less life, it gains 5k and double strike, and then draws 1 on the swing. This is actually a really, really great Awakened Side. It's also a reason why I play the Joyful Strike. I'll go into one of the sort of staple combos that I use with it. But yeah, it's really, really good to do the late game pressure when most of the time the opponent's leader, when you're going for kill, you want to target them to be on 5 life. Because of the 8-drop being triple strike, you'll have the leader at double strike and joyful strike at double strike. It sort of lands that you can have at least one of the 2 double strikes hit in, and then you can hit them with the triple strike to go for game.
Okay.
So yeah, it works out really, really well. I quite like the Awakened
still
side.
The front side is more important for the deck than
yeah,
the
yeah. You want to stay on the front side pretty much the whole game, and then you just want to go to the back side pretty much for your kill turn on turn 4.
Okay. Let's go. The Unison card, the powerhouse, the whole.
Yeah, what really makes this deck possible? What's going to take it forward if we don't get any sort of errata in on the word changes? But I'll quickly go over it in case people haven't seen since it was shown.
Let's just quickly explain to people who don't know how Unison works yet.
Sure,
some
yeah.
People might be like that. So to play a Unison card, you choose how much energy you pay into it. It comes in with that many markers, which represent how much life it has. If it is attacked, you cannot defensively combo, which is important. It can be attacked the same as the leader in active or rest.
In rest, yeah.
And if it loses battle, it loses the counter.
Sure. So double strike would means it loses 2 counters. Triple strike is 3. You know, etc.
That is correct. 2 additional rules that have been recently put up. If a Unison card loses a marker, it loses all the continuous effects that were applied to it for the turn.
Sure.
And another one that I actually missed for a very long time and I only seen today is that you can put another copy of the card from your hand underneath the Unison card.
Yes.
With the same name or the same card number to put 1 additional counter once per turn.
Yep.
Which makes it copies in hand are not wasted.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. It makes them less bricky. You can sort of it's not just sitting in hand as like a dead sort of extra card. You know, you sort of it has a purpose that you can just fuel it with the underneath it to give it a free marker. I think's a pretty good design choice.
Also, you can't play a Unison card if you already have a Unison card with the same name on board, with the same number. But you can play a different Unison card and replace the current one.
Yes.
Which I think is fair. So you can't just play one of them, use the effect, play another one, use the effect, play a third one, use the effect.
Sure, I can only imagine the shenanigans late game that you could do when you have lots of energy. Well, you could even do it in this deck when you have about 7 or 8 energy by turn 4.
You just pay 2 energy to meet the specified cost and just go on.
Yeah.
Although they don't let you put additional energy because someone tried to do that in Android 21. But yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to go for the card now.
Okay, so it's so you have to play at least 2 for Zeno. So pretty much you need this on turn 2. If you don't see it in your starting hand, you pretty much want to mulligan or your entire hand. You want to see this by turn 2. It's what really gets the deck going. Activate main +2. If your leader is mono blue, so it works with the Goku Black leader, place the top card of your deck in your energy. You can't place cards in your energy area for the turn. Then at the end of the turn, place the card you placed in your energy with the skill in its owner's drop area. And then the -5, which I've used maybe once or twice over the past few days of testing the deck, is choose all cards in all battle areas, ignoring barrier, and shuffle them into the owner's decks. So sort of a patent Zeno sort of like effect where it just sort of board wipes everything on the board.
Well, it doesn't
But the
wipe anything. There are cards that defend against this. Indestructible
yeah,
stays on board.
yes. So because it's since of not negating skills and everything like that, yeah. So,
Not like the old Zeno.
yeah, of course, yeah. So the reason why this works so well with the deck and piqued my interest for being used in the Goku Black deck was if you use the Goku Black effect first to ramp to 3, and then you play the Zeno, and then you ramp off the top of your deck, you can, at the end of the turn, use the Goku Black effect to get rid of the energy that Zeno ramped, so then you take away that energy, which puts you to 3. Yeah, the Goku Black effect has been it's been solved, it's been resolved, and the Zeno will then trigger his effect to get rid of his energy because it states it's the energy that he ramped, not any energy. But because you've already sent the energy that Zeno charged, it would just skip over it because it's already been sent. So technically, you sort of got a free objection. I've asked quite a few people. Everybody sort of agrees this is how it works at the moment. This can change. We don't know if they're going to completely change how it works or anything like that.
Zeno might receive an errata before the set comes out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd be very surprised if it didn't receive an errata. I'd be very surprised, but
to receive something that you can't place energy by skills during the turn you activate the skill.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
activate main if you haven't placed an energy by skill this turn, or something along those lines.
Yeah, so something so as to not sort of abuse the free constant ramp. Yeah. But the thing why the deck works so well is that when this was first on the day that it was first shown, I actually played the deck while just sending the 2 energy to the drop like usual. So to say like if this was errated, the deck still worked fine and you could still get the combos off turn 4. It's just less consistent. So, like getting the constant energy ramp improves the consistency, so you pretty much hit it on turn 4 every time.
You can get the ramp of 2 energy a turn.
Sure, exactly. So it's like, for example, if we were to send the 2 energy at the end of the turn, that's fine because we can play the Goku Black. You can energy ramp. You can then play the Goku Black 3 drop. You can energy ramp. You can then play. You can then play a Zeno the turn after. You can still do ramping in order as long as you have to make sure that Zeno is the last one you do.
Yes.
I've seen a few people sort of get confused and use Zeno and then go afterwards. You've always got to keep in your mind that Zeno has to be the very last one that you ramp with.
Okay. And let's go for our other Unison card, which is a bit worse quality.
Yeah, it was got shown on the rules page, I believe, for the Dragon Ball, but
okay.
I put this in the deck only as a 2-of. It's basically as a backup if you don't see the Zeno. It's also pretty good as well after you have sort of used Zeno to ramp and get out the boss cards. There are some games where the opponent has sort of survived. There are sort of ways I thought, well, if we just play the Gogeta after we've sort of finished with the Zeno, because after ramping, we've pretty much used everything we want to use with Zeno. Why wouldn't we just play
your own board?
Yeah, exactly, when you've just established the board. So I thought, well, why not play this? It can sort of, you're swinging with all your cards, or your blue Saiyan cards. So why not just play the Gogeta afterwards? And that way, because you're going to be low on life from the Joyful Strike, It's just sort of like a way that I thought, well, this is sort of defensive measures to stop
It's
taking life.
it's essentially a very cheap awe-inspiring Vegito.
Yeah, it
Deadly
makes any blue
defender.
Saiyan, yeah, it makes them all sort of essentially deadly defenders.
All Goku
I think it's
Blacks
really great.
are
Yeah,
Saiyans.
exactly. Yeah, so I think it works. I think it works perfectly with it, to be honest. It didn't come up too much, but that's mainly because most games that I bought out all the boss cards on turn 4. Most of the time, I would win, or it would go to the opponent's turn, and then they would just sort of scoop because they realised that they couldn't sort of get over the hump.
When they have one energy, the only deck that can
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah, I think it's pretty good for the people that don't know its skill or can't quite tell what the card reads. It states permanent. If your leader card is a blue Saiyan card and you have a blue Saiyan battle card in play in rest mode, your leader cannot take damage from attack. So you can still burn it, but via skills, but you can't deal it physical damage. And then +0
you
for
can also
activate.
attack Gogeta first before the battle card.
Yeah.
Which is smaller.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives the opponent the chance to sort of choose: do they want to get rid of the battle cards? Do they want to get rid of the Unison card? It sort of gives them that choice, but it keeps them away from your leader, which is the whole point of running the card in the deck. So the +0 activate main is choose a leader card or a battle card. You switch to rest mode, and you can add a marker to this card. And then activate main is
card or battle card. Let's just
exactly
clarify.
Yeah. And then activate main is you draw a card, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy, ignore a barrier, place it to the bottom of the owner's deck. It's a great skill on the card, but you're never really going to use that in this deck. You're literally just playing this card pretty much just for the permanent.
Like, I think that this type of a skill should be on any blue bounce cards, because all the bounce cards that put the card back into the hand were not good.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting card. I don't think you get the full potential out of this card in this deck. It was just something I really wanted to try with the deck.
It's from a starter deck, so I assume the starter deck is made to take the full potential.
Yeah, it's going to use this to its full power. I still think it's a great Unison card, but I would keep it in this deck going forward just for the option of if you want to play after Zeno, or just in case if you don't see the Zeno.
I think Soul Striker would love this card.
Yeah, I could definitely see this being played in Soul Striker 100%. Yeah.
Okay, let's go further and start on the Goku Black engine. So this is a very old card, and I remember when this card was a thing, and no one ever played it.
Yeah, I absolutely love this card. I mean, Goku Black and Zamasu are some of my favourite characters in the series, so I always try and make this card work as much as possible. It was super, super janky, but I feel like with this deck, it comes out just so much faster. It comes out on turn 4, it's amazing when it hits. Its evolve cost is 7, 4 generic and 3 blue, and you have to evolve it on a Goku Black card. Triple strike, and then when a card evolves onto this card, if your leader card is Goku Black, which is the reason why I play this leader card, is choose up to 3 of your opponent's energy and place them in the drop area. This is the win con of the deck. It's the whole reason that the deck's built for. It's the whole reason to play the leader, to be honest, is to play this card. No other card really offers this again, unlike Android 21. But just being able to choose 3 of any energy, so it gets over the multicolor cost that Android 21 sort of struggles with a lot of the meta decks at the moment, just gives this deck a big push compared to any other type of energy sending strategy.
I think there was not a decent energy sending strategy since.
Yeah, I mean, like you had like Android 21, which sort of killed mono decks, like if it went against hat check and you played that, but this pretty much gets over multicolor, which is the big problem of why Android 21 sort of fell by the wayside by a lot of decks. So yeah, I think this is just an amazing boss card. It's one of my favorites. I always try and play it. So yeah, it should always exist in this deck.
And now that's a bit newer Goku Black card.
Sure. So I'm sure most people all remember this one. It's from set 7. It came with the new ramping your opponent's
strategy
energy, but you don't really want to play it for that. You play this literally just because it's a barrier to help it stick on board. It's a Goku Black, and then when you play it and your leader card is a Goku Black as a Zamasu, you basically get to ramp the top card of your deck to the energy. It's just another form of ramp to help speed up, as well as get a Goku on board to evolve.
It has barriers, so it's going to survive a bit better.
Yeah,
and it's a bit cheaper than Whis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, It can still obviously get hit by counterplay by stuff like hidden potential, but if you go first, your opponent's only going to be on 1 energy since you'll be ramping with the Goku Black leader, so you can actually get this out most of the time quite easily if you get to go first. There's no worry about it. Then the second skill is where at the end of your opponent's turn, they check the top card. You don't want them to hit a battle card because it comes into their energy and rest, which sort of like gives them an extra energy, so they can be on 1, maybe 2 after you do the neg.
Double-edged sword.
Exactly, but if you're really lucky and you do get the extra card, especially when you go against a deck like Invoker, and most of the time there will be an extra card, you do get to draw the card and shuffle their deck, which is it's what you aim for when you play the card.
Cool. This is from Anniversary Box, isn't it?
Yes, the first Anniversary Box that we got, yeah. So this card is pretty much a staple in any of the decks that I play that involve Goku Black or Zamasu. It also can be used with. It doesn't have a restriction apart from having 5 or more energy as a permanent, but you can basically play it from your hand for free. It draws you a card, but then you can't play one for the duration of the turn, so you can't span them out multiple times.
Well, no, I'm going to kindly and politely disagree with you here.
Okay.
If you're playing Goku Black or Zamasu leader, you can't play another for the turn. If you're playing any other leader and you have 5 energy, you can drop multiple of those a turn, and then you can bounce them to play a Great Priest.
Yes, very, very true.
Because
so yeah,
the effect that stops it from being played is an auto effect that only activates when your leader is Goku Black or Zamasu.
Yeah, sure. Of course, yeah, that completely skipped my mind, mainly just because I just play this with the Goku Black as a master leader. But yeah, as Peter's just said there, yeah, you can perfectly go and do that. And actually, talking about the Great Priest, that's exactly one of the reasons why I play it with the Goku Black card, just because it helps you with bouncing and just constant draw, on top of getting another Goku Black on board for the evolved target of the boss monster.
It's a free evolve target for the.
Yeah, it's completely free.
But yes, I've seen that interaction, but there was never really a good reason to use this. But if the game slows down enough, this in any deck that wants to use Great Priest, either the old one or the new one, it's very good because it's a god. So you can bounce it back to hand to play the new Great Priest that's critical, or the old Great Priest that ramps all your gods into your energy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it definitely has potential going forward. I just max out on it just because I want to make sure that I can see it.
Yeah, it's a good card. Anything that you can play for free and it replaces itself in certain decks, it's a good card.
Yeah.
The very old card, I remember actually losing to this a couple of times in the old Zamasu deck.
Yeah, I remember this being quite expensive when it first came out.
Because the combo was Joyful Strike into Joyful Strike into Joyful Strike. Shrouded. Full Shrouded Mystery. And you just go for 8 damage there.
Yep. It's a pretty crazy card. I know a lot of people might have maybe forgot about it or might not have seen it if they joined the game later on, but it's a 6-drop Goku Black, 25k double strike. When you play this card, if your leader card is Zamasu or Goku Black, you can inflict 2 damage to your life, and then if you do, you get to restand the 6 energy that basically you paid for the card. So it comes out for free.
Yeah.
I've seen some Goku Black decks which haven't been playing this card. I don't really understand why. I'm a big fan of it in this deck. It sort of helps you with pushing to Self-Awaken on a turn to sort of see more cards. It's another
25k double strike, right?
Exactly. It's a free 25k double strike, so you can play this, restand it, and then just play the boss afterwards on one of your 10ks that you've bought out on the field. I just don't see why people aren't playing it. Again, it's just another double strike, because if your opponent's on 5 life, it's a 25k double strike for free. You've helped put your leader down, which preferably will be below, will be 2 or 1 life. So your Goku Black leader will also now be a 20k double strike, and then your boss card a 30k triple strike. You know, you're hitting twice for double and then once for triple strike. I wouldn't see a reason why you wouldn't play this card. Big fan of it.
This is one of the cards that I have been talking a lot about to people who listen to me.
Yeah.
It's one of the championship pack cards. And this card is strong.
Yeah, this card is strong, and it's not even just for this deck. Like, it's essentially a free negate. Yeah, it's so strong. It's pretty much, if you play blue yellow, I pretty much can't come up with an excuse why you wouldn't play this card.
The card can stop for free it can stop one attack for free
Yeah.
because it untaps 2 of your energy. And then you can use it to combo, and you can allow the arrival with that, which I think is amazing for the Bojack. And as we're getting more Agents of Destruction support, I think this card will be important to have for Bojack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if there's anybody who's thinking about carrying on with doing blue yellow or has any interest in blue yellow, I would try and pick these up at a decent price. I completely forgot the current price that they're at the moment, but I know when I picked up my copies, I got them quite cheap, just because I know that going forward, this is going to be a card that's going to be staple for any blue yellow deck going forward.
The thing is that we're not getting them anymore this year, from what we've seen.
Yet, which could be very problematic.
That are going to be we don't think we're getting the finals even this year, but even if we are, there's going to be a volume 2 of championship packs.
Yeah.
Which is going to be brand new cards, which are going to
be
Unison stuff.
Yeah. So it could definitely be
already gone. Maybe they will give them out for free, but then they're not going to be as good anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have to agree with you there. And then obviously on top of it being a free negate, it's a Goku Black that's on board, which you can easily evolve over, which is one of the reasons that we sort of have the yellow with it as well.
Yeah. Speaking of yellow, Zamasu the Mastermind.
Yeah. So most people just look at this and think, oh, it's a free blocker because of the leader. One of the cool interactions you can do with this is that you can use this to fuel the cost for Grand Prix to bounce, and then you can, if you want it just to block, you can just replay it again.
Yeah, it doesn't have any restrictions. It's just one of those old free blockers. Which is nice that it's in yellow, that actually supports any of the old Goku Black and Zamasu bleeders going into yellow, which I really like.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, big fan of it. I'll run it as a 4 of. Just you want to see a little bit of yellow. You need at least one yellow charge in the deck, as you'll see later on, for one of the cards to be active and live.
The 10-drop Zamasu. I remember playing this as my finisher in Beerus ages ago. A very strong card. Yeah,
I still think it's strong. Even now, I know it's quite a hefty cost to sort of bring it out, but any sort of ramp deck, I try and play this as much as possible. It's only a one-off. It's only sort of like an option. Most games, I can win without it. It's kind of just like for a little bit of flavour, but it is still a strong card that sort of warrants its one-off spot in here. You have the free Zamasu blocker. You've got the Zamasu super combo as a worst-case scenario if you want one on board, but you're basically just going to be using the blocker. And for anybody that doesn't know, it's a Union Batora for 7, 3 specified blue, indestructible, 30k. When this card attacks, you choose a card from your opponent's battle area, energy, life, hand, and you place it to the bottom of the deck in any order. Super, super strong card.
Of course, you wouldn't play too many of them because it's still vulnerable to Cold Bloodlust, Frost Deadly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all those sort of counterplay cards. Yeah.
But if it can resolve a swing, it's really strong.
Yeah, I mean, the worst case scenario, even if like maybe they don't have a great hand or they don't have anything on board, is that you're dealing an instant damage already, which can if they're on 1 life, that's just game.
You de-ramp them, you remove their options from hand.
Exactly, it covers all boards.
Deal damage, yes.
Yeah, great overall card, but I would only run it as a one-off.
Yeah, that's fair enough. The new draft box card, the Great Priest Herald of Deliverance.
Sure. So with this Great Priest card, I know quite a few people probably haven't seen it. For those who haven't seen it, it's a 5-drop. You're never going to play it for 5 though. It's a 20k critical, permanent. Only 1 copy of this card can be played in your battle area, and then activate main. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For good reason, because activate main, you tap 1 blue. If you have 4 or more energy, you can choose 2 non-Great Priest, so you can't loop, God cards in your battle area, and then you return them to the hand, and you get to play this card from your hand.
Yep.
So it's just great to have on board. It's basically a free 20k critical swing.
1-drop 20k critical.
Yeah, essentially a 1-drop 20k critical. The reason why this is also used in the deck is that if you look at your hand and you're like that you want to replay a Goku Black to ramp the next turn, if you're falling behind or you think I haven't got the Zeno, you can just rebounce it back to hand and then just play the Great Priest or return the Zamasu as part of the cost and just replay the Zamasu just to get this out for cheap, and then also just to save your hand size for next turn, whether you want to use that Goku Black for energy for next turn or you want to replay it to get another ramp off the top of your deck. It's a really, really good card.
If it's early in the game, you can play the Zamasu blocker, play the Countdown to Distraction, draw a card. Countdown to Distraction has 10k, so it can hit Unawakened Leader.
Yeah.
So you can get some additional aggro out of that.
Yeah.
Or you can bounce back, as you said, the Joyful Strikes. There's lots of things that you can do.
Yeah, it's just bouncing and reusing all your Goku Black stuff, and just getting a 20k crit basically off one energy for me is just, it's so much worth. And worst case scenario, it's a 5k combo as well.
Yep.
So for me, I think this has great potential definitely going forward. It's a very, very low price, I believe, at the moment. So if you have any interest in sort of decks that will use God cards in the future, I would definitely pick up your playset now of this. I think it's going to go up over time.
I would hope that they make a Xeno God themed deck, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
The best God super combo, and I'm actually surprised to see that you run 3 of them rather than 4.
Yeah. So I originally tried just running the 4 healers, but I just realized that while the card is good for just sifting through the deck more by dropping 1 and then drawing 2 cards, the other super combo that I run the one of is the Zamasu multicolor, which taps an extra card. I really like the option of having the Zamasu to sort of tap an extra card. So many people will think, oh, well, if they're playing a God Leader, they're just going to run the 4 healers. So you can sort of surprise them with the Zamasu and sort of save an extra attack coming your way. It gets a lot of people off guard and can potentially be a game winner in itself. So I definitely think it's worth just playing the one off, just in case.
Okay. Speaking of the Zamasu, this is the Zamasu you're talking about.
And this was the Zamasu where if you have a blue or yellow leader, you combo with it from your hand, and then you get to choose up to your opponent's leader card or battle card and switch it to rest mode.
Yeah, very good against the Gohan return.
Oh yeah, the Gohan reboot leader. It can be devastating if they don't think that you run it in the deck.
And then we're going to round up with some of the typical cards like Ape.
Yep. I know that people hate seeing Great Ape.
Imagine why this card is here. It's a yellow charge if you need to, and your leader doesn't draw that many cards, so you want to fill your hand back up after charging everything you can. Yeah.
It's that good of a card. It's the price that it is for a reason. It's just.
I mean, you're a ramping deck, you have an easier time using this, but on the other hand, you're a ramping deck, so you have a smaller hand, so you want
exactly,
in your hand,
and especially since the leader doesn't draw as well, it's just another form of getting draw to your hand. It comes in.
You can use your leader to put it in the drop area if you charge it by accident with Xeno.
Exactly, yeah. So it's never bad. It's never going to get stuck in there if you don't want it to be in there. It's just overall a solid card. I don't see why you wouldn't play a playset in the deck.
Yeah. Frost Deadly Poison, just a 2-off.
Yeah, just the 2 of them. I originally started by playing 3. I feel 2 is fine. You only really want to get the 1 off, so I feel like 2 is fine. Most games you can sort of win without it. It's only against some decks where they'll play like a really crucial boss monster, or maybe bring out an arrival to sort of swing for game out of nowhere. It's always going to be live. All you need is the 1 yellow energy in the charged for it. You're going to have the total amount of energy for it since you're going to be ramping. I would definitely stick it at 2. I wouldn't move it back up to 3. I think after more testing with it being at 2, it's pretty crucial, I think, for the format. It can kill a lot of, again, I said, rival or boss cards that sort of get dropped out of nowhere.
4D magics, I don't think this needs to be explained.
This doesn't need to be explained. Staple in any blue deck. Staple in any blue.
Senzu. I've seen some decks not playing Senzu.
Yeah, it's sort of dropped a little bit out of favour. It's still an amazing card. It has been since it came out. I really like it in this deck just for defensive reasons. Again, it's good against any aggro decks. It's say preferably Storm. It's just, I don't see why you wouldn't want to play it in the deck. You can also use Bean to extend plays where you can like ramp with the Goku, like you can swing with the leader or the ramp 3-drop Goku, and then you can bean, and then you can bring out a Zeno on top, and then Zeno the same turn that you've done a ramp as well, if you got the Zeno afterwards. Just little stuff like that, but mainly for defensive reasons I use it.
That's fair enough. So, any closing statements?
I think the deck is incredibly fun to play. Again, I'll always try and make it work. I always try and make Goku Black and Zamasu work. I think this deck has somewhat of a meta potential. It does lose very, very hard to hand destruction. A lot of blue decks do. But since it doesn't draw hand destruction like Piccolo Surge, it will be a tough time. It is possible to beat them, but you just have to hope to see the Great Apes in your drop to sort of outlast them after getting rid of their energy.
Or get the good top decks.
Exactly, yeah. You've got to pray. Yeah. Yep. And then the Black Storm deck that's going around, I have my own feelings about that I think that deck should be hit in some way, or something should be errated in it. Yeah, I don't think it's great for the game. This deck can't really do anything against the Storm deck. You've basically just got to pray that you get Senzu Beans, and even then, it's just hard. It's just hard. But
Heroes of the People or Protector of the People and 4 Flank Nimbus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which I mean, people can experiment around with the deck and sort of put in, or if they want to do a side deck, if they really want to try this as a best of 3. But yeah, I really enjoy using it. It's fair. I try and kept it as themed as possible. I really enjoy the archetype, and yeah, I just hope people really enjoy or give it a try themselves. I'd love to see sort of the feedback for what people could come up with that maybe I didn't think of.
Yep. So guys, if you enjoyed the deck, let us know in the comments. What do you like about the deck? What would you change? And remember to subscribe to our channel to see more decks that are going to be coming your way soon. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you around.
See ya.
Hey everyone, Scott here. Thank you for watching that video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you want to continue to support LPG outside of YouTube, I would implore you to check out our Patreon, our Facebook page, twitch.tv/playersguild, and our own site, londonplayersguild.com, all of which are linked in the description below. If you can't, not a problem. We just hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.